Hello, this is Darren with Save the Panel, and I am back with the Zooz ZEN12 Motion Dimmer. This is the pre-production model that we have here on the bench. Zooz just sent me updated parameters and firmware for this device. So what we're going to do today is upgrade the device to version 0.5 of firmware and test all those things that did not work. Those things were documented in these two previous videos I did. And in this video, we will test all of the ecosystems, and I will have chapters defined so you can skip to your favorite one if you like. And there's a great summary slide at the end. All in all, this is a huge improvement with this firmware. Okay, so we are ready to upgrade the firmware. We can see here that we are currently on version 0.4, and the file that was sent to us by Zooz is 0.5. So let's go ahead and load that. So here on the Z box, go to firmware update, upload file, select the target and the file, which is right here. So here's our firmware file, and start update. Okay, looks like our firmware update is complete. I suppose what we should do, since the firmware has been updated, is to go ahead and reconfigure the device. Okay, so now that we're on the new firmware, let's take a look. We see here we have parameters greater than 41, which are new for this version, and let's test one of them, make sure they're working. Maybe this dimming button orientation. Let's take a look at how it works today, change the setting, and see how it changes. Yeah, turn the light on, motion works, that's good. We'll turn it off, turn it on manually, and we will try to, this would probably be the dim direction. There we go. So we're dimming the light. So this side is dim. So if we reverse this button orientation and save that, now that should be increase and this should be dim. So are we dimming? We are. And this is now increase. And it is. So awesome. So the parameters are indeed configurable. That's great. So everything else here on the Z-Box actually functioned, but just for giggles, let's run this through the IQ, Home Assistant, and Hubitat. Again, we're not going to do all the tests, don't worry. We're just going to take a peek and see if any functionality has changed in those hubs. I doubt they will, because a lot of that stuff, I believe, was really an issue with the drivers in those various hubs for this product. But let's give it a quick test anyway. And I'll fast forward a lot of sequences, so don't worry, this won't be a long video. So first up here, we'll stop at the Hubitat. And the Hubitat did not have functional scene control buttons, nor did it have functional direct association. It also was missing some parameters in the driver, although if you use the alternate scanner driver, you were able to express all those parameters. So I think what I'm just going to do is a quick test of scene control buttons and direct association. Okay, so now that we have this added, let's do a couple of things. First of all, we need to turn on scene control. And we'll also turn on the scene control indicator and save that. Okay, so now that that's done, let's go look at the logs. And now we see something we didn't see before, which is motion is now reporting. I don't believe that reported in the old firmware. Now what about button presses? Oh, we now have button presses, which we did not have before. 3, 2, and 1. How about a double press of 2? We have a double tap. This looks way more functional than the previous firmware on Hubitat. Ooh, this is This is exciting. So let's go in and build a basic rule for this. See what we have. A motion sensor, and now we have here, it is a motion sensor. We're going to update that, and when it senses that motion is active, we're going to do what we did before. We're going to actually turn on a different light. We're going to turn on that, if you remember, that bedroom light from the previous video. And then we're going to wait for 5 seconds, and then we're going to turn off the bedroom light. Okay, so when the dimmer activates, we're going to turn on the bedroom light for 5 seconds and turn it off. So one thing we need to do so we can test this is shorten the amount of time that the motion stays active. So let's find that preference. Oh, it's not here. Ha! That's right. It's not expressed in this particular driver. So we'll have to wait 30 seconds for the motion to reset before we can test our rule. Okay, so now that that's set up, let's go ahead and do some motion, and we will see if our bedroom light will turn on. I'm going to move the camera here. So when we do motion, that light bulb on the right, the one that's actually in the middle of the 3 big bulbs, that should turn on when we do some motion. So let's do some motion. And we do not have that running. Why? We have motion became active right here. So after much investigation here, I think what's happening is if we do some motion, you see that the motion became active, but there is never a command that is received that says the motion ceased being active. We don't have a notice here. We have lux reporting, we have multi-level for the light, but we don't have anything that says that motion ceased to be active. So if we go back to the device, I'll bet you it still says that motion is active. Sure enough, it does right here. So we've got half of it, right? It's triggering motion, but it's not telling the Hubitat that motion has ceased. That's why our rule is not firing. So man, we're close. We're closer than we were, but we are not all the way there. Now, what is interesting, if we turn the light on, we do see that luminance does indeed come up. So it looks like we could do rules based on luminance, but not on motion. So let's just flip that around to be on luminance and see what happens. Okay, so now it's set that if luminance goes above 100, that bedroom light should turn on. So let's go ahead and try that again. Let's look at that bedroom light. And there you go, the light turned on. It should go off in 5 seconds. And there you go, the bedroom light went off 5 seconds later. So the rule does work, for luminance, not for motion, but at least we are now receiving, and boy, my tripod's not cooperating, but at least we are now receiving, motion in the log. We're just not receiving the clearance of motion in the log, which is a problem, but way better than it was with the previous version of firmware. Actually, next, let's take a look at button devices or scene control devices. So what if we have a button on our ZEN12 and we are going to do a double tap of button number 2, and when we do that, we'll turn on the bedroom light for 5 seconds. And this also did not work in the previous version, so let's try it. And I'm going to go into live logs while we do this. Okay, so button 2, double tap. Oh, it was button 3, my bad. And I triggered the motion, the light turning on. So let this calm down for a second. Okay. So there's our double tap of 2. Interesting. Let's try that again. Maybe it went by my face too fast. Double tap 2. There we go. Now we have the bedroom light on for 5 seconds. 2, 1. There you go, off. Okay, let's do that one more time. Double tap, and there's our bedroom light. So okay, so we now have scene control buttons working too. This is great. So you know, a little firmware goes a long way, right? And I guess the last thing to test would be direct associations. Let's clear this out. And we'll go down to our association tool, create a new association. What do we want to try first? How about we do something very simple? When the light turns on, we're going to turn on that bedroom light. So at this point, as I tested associations, I found that they were not functional. That bedroom light would not turn on. And I tried a variety of classes here, including multi-level switch and triggering by motion. I wanted to try triggering by luminance, but that was actually not even, that group number, which was 6, was not even available in the association builder. So unfortunately, at this point, I'm forced to conclude that associations are not functional. So in conclusion, for the Hubitat, things definitely did improve with the new firmware. We now have the parameters greater than 41, they're present and they are functional and seem to be accurate. We do have half of the motion entity. It is indeed reporting motion, it's not reporting motion clear. So we're halfway home, but that's probably functionally useless. The lux or luminance reporting is coming across the way it should. We have scene control buttons now that are functional where they were not before, but unfortunately direct association still appears to be non-functional, but with the footnote that that could be me. At least I can't get it to work. So all in all, a dramatic improvement for usability in the Hubitat. Very nice. Okay, let's go ahead and include this guy in the Home Assistant. Okay, now in Home Assistant, we had a handful of things not real happy here, right? We had a missing motion entity, we had non-functional scene control buttons, and we had non-functional direct association. So let's, and of course the parameters greater than 41 were missing. So let's find this guy here. Okay, still an unknown product, but that's fine. Configuration. And we now have all the parameters up to 46, which is good. So I think we're in good shape there with the parameters. So let's turn on scene control so we can do our tests. Okay, so I just set a few parameters here to keep the LED light on all the time and stuff for our testing. But more importantly, we have scene control turned on, so we should be able, I would hope, to see some button presses. Of course, oh, there's our central scene. Different values. Okay, that looks promising. Of course, we're also seeing the lux level change. Oops. Okay, so we definitely can see lux level that all looks promising. So we do have motion sensor status right here. This is new. We did not have this previously. All right, so let's create a new automation here just to start to test this ZEN12. And now look, we have motion detection listed. I don't believe we had that before. So let's say, okay, we have motion being detected. Then we're going to do something. Let's see if I can find my something fun to do here, which I think will send a, there we go, send a little note to our tidbit, which is our sign right here that normally says save the panel. So we're going to do title and text. Okay, so let's go ahead and test this. Here, I'll move the camera so we can see. There we go, ZEN12 motion detected. So that's what it's going to do when motion is detected, if this all runs properly. Okay, so let's close this up. All right, so let's do a little motion, see what happens. Ah, there we go, very cool. So this did not work before, but we absolutely can trigger now on motion. Lux triggering did work before, but let's also look at some scene buttons. So let's delete about the motion. Let's change the trigger to be one of the button presses on the ZEN12. So let's see. Here we go. Central scene action on endpoint scene 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is probably button 1, 2, 3, and then the three-way. So let's pick on button 2, and we're going to do double press. Oh, I've seen this before where it doesn't actually let you select the value. So I worked on this for a little while, and I believe the lack of a good driver or any driver inside JSUI is the reason why some of this is not expressed into the GUI automation builder. So I wound up building this automation in YAML, and it did work. So here it is. So while the GUI didn't help me here in automations, YAML did. Once I dug into the logs and saw how the key presses were being expressed to Home Assistant, I was able to whip this up, and sure enough, this will work. So let's double click button 2, and you'll see there that it does fire and sends the note to the tidbit to say that button 2 is double pressed. So the good news is here that this absolutely works. I'm sure once the driver is built with JSUI, this will be much easier to configure. But the good news is that it works. So what's left on Home Assistant, I suppose, is direct associations. So let's give that a try next. Okay, so let's try some direct association just to see if we have any joy here. So we'll go to groups, and we will add the basic set, because we're just going to turn on and off. Actually, it's a ZEN04. So we do have a ZEN04 here somewhere on the test bench. We do. And what I've done, and I'll move the camera, is I've plugged a light bulb in, which is that one all the way on the far right. And we're going to map that to, let's see, to the root endpoint. And there we go. So if we turn on the light manually, I would expect the ZEN04 to turn on, and it does. Look at that. That is fabulous. So direct associations in Home Assistant are indeed working, and I don't believe that worked in the first version of firmware. This is very exciting because we didn't see these work in the Hubitat. Again, that could be my issue, but that's very nice. And for those of you that watch the channel, you know that I certainly love my direct associations. I use them all the time. Okay, so that rounds up things in Home Assistant. So in this version of firmware, we did fix quite a few bugs. We had a missing motion entity before. Now we have it, and it is functional. The Lux entity always worked. It continues to work here in version .5. We have scene control and button control, although you have to do it in YAML at the moment. It is functional, and we have direct association functioning. So that's fantastic. So let's move on to the IQ panel. Again, I don't have much hope there. Probably the only thing that would be expected maybe is that we can do some direct association in the IQ panel, which I would really appreciate if that's possible, but let's see what happens. So we're here at the IQ4 panel. I've joined the ZEN12 as well as the same ZEN04 right there that we used for direct association testing to this panel as well. So we can see we have the ZEN12, we have the ZEN04, and I'll try to do this without causing a focus problem, but okay, so we can definitely see that that works. And if we turn on the ZEN12 Motion Dimmer, I can press the button, you can see the light shining over from that, which is that bulb right there. So all is good. So we have the devices joined. Now the first thing I need to do for this verification testing is set a couple of parameters. I'm going to set parameter 8 to 1 to turn on scene control, and parameter 17 to 10 to shorten the motion clear delay. So I'll do that real quick here. So here, for parameter 17, you'll see that it has a decimal size of 2, so we actually get 2 boxes in the configuration value. I need to set this to a value of 10, but in the IQ panel, usually these values are in hexadecimal. So 10 is not the value we want. We actually want A, because 10 decimal is A in hex, and I bet you this will work, but we'll give it a try here. So that's set. So now if I cause a motion in 10 seconds, I would expect this bulb right here, this one right here, to go out. So let's do some motion. There we go. Let's count 10. Okay, close enough. Looks good to me. We have our parameters set up. So let's do a little testing. Now, as I said, I don't expect, well, there's no errors. That's good. Love that. We do have basic light control, which is good. But what didn't work before? Let's look that up. So before, a whole bunch was not working. We had a missing motion entity, which I doubt, sensors like that are just never supported on ZWave devices in the IQ. The same with the Lux reporting, but scene control buttons and direct association are something we wanted to try out. So let's start with direct association because we're here at the panel already. So let's go ahead and associate. Let's go ahead and associate the dimmer to this ZEN04 right here, just to see if that works. So we'll go Installation, Devices, ZWave Devices, View Edit Associations, and here we have the motion dimmer. We're going to view that, and we're going to do a basic set to the ZEN04, and we're going to save it. It says it was successful. So now I'm going to turn on the ZEN12 manually. We'll see if our light bulb there on the left of your frame lights up. And it does. That is fantastic. So we have now direct association capabilities in the IQ4 as well. Okay, so let's not get too excited. I'm getting excited because there is in this device, if you look at it, basic set for motion available and basic set for light level. So let's try to set the basic set for motion against that ZEN04 and save it. Now what this would mean is that the motion set, or motion, if motion is detected on the ZEN12, this ZEN04 right here should also go off. And it just did. Look at that. I I was just pointing my pen there. It didn't really mean to test it, but it tested. So that's fantastic. Let's wait the 10 seconds and it should go out. And then what I'll do is try it again. Look at that, it did. All right, so this, even though this is not, a blessed device on the iQ4, I think this is perfectly usable, in a variety of situations. I really enjoy that. Once again, I think direct associations just, they just save the day. They really do. Okay, so what else do we need to look at here? So we have the direct associations. Let's now look at scene control. So for scene control, we'll flip over here to alarm.com and let's refresh this page and see if we have, we do have our ZEN04 and our ZEN12. That's very good. So let's look for, under automation remotes, here's our ZEN12. Okay, it's looking interesting. So we'll do our test we've always done. I don't care for this error, could not load remote diagram. That says to me there might be some challenge, but let's try it. So we're going to create a rule about ZEN12 button 2 double press to turn on the ZEN04. And we will do exactly that. Oh, we can't. I forgot. We're in alarm.com. You can't directly control a device. You have to create a scene. Everyone needs to make a scene. Sorry, thought it was funny. So let's create a new scene called ZEN04 on. And here's our ZEN04. We will turn that on and save. And now we should have a button 2 scene ZEN04 on, done. And we're going to make this a double press of that button 2. So ZEN12 button 2 press ZEN04 on. Okay. All right, now this is alarm.com, so we give this a second to marinate and come down from the cloud and all that good stuff. Count to 10, do what we have to do. I'm going to move the camera now to show you that I'm going to press this button twice. And we will try our double press of the button one more time. Oh, now it works. So I was just too fast. All right, so we now have a remote scene control buttons working in alarm.com as well. So this is fantastic. Just to wrap this up on the iQ4 panel, where are we? The only thing not working are the sensors themselves, motion and lux, and they'll never appear in an iQ4 panel because they're ZWave. But it does appear that those sensors, and as they trigger direct associations, those will work to other devices, which really is a nice little escape valve, so to speak, so you can get that functionality under the iQ4 ecosystem. We now have scene control functional, we have other direct associations functional, parameter settings are working. So I think all in all, we're pretty good. So now with firmware version 0.5, many of the issues with the ZEN12 are now rectified. We have all the parameters working and available in all of the hubs that we tested. As far as motion entity issues we had before, it's half working in the Hubitat, fully working in Home Assistant. It's just not available in the iQ as we would expect. The lux sensor is still missing in the iQ, also to be expected. Scene control buttons are now working in every platform, which is fantastic. And direct association is also working everywhere except Hubitat, but please add the footnote there that may be the way I'm doing the direct associations, and it may be an issue with me and my method. So if anyone in the Hubitat world knows what I'm doing wrong or how to do that better or a better app to use than the one I'm using, please let me know in the comments or send me a direct message. In any case, I think this device is really good to go. I am super excited for it to be released. I still hear it's going to be in April. I hear a rumor that it may be slightly different hardware than the one that I have right now, but whatever it is, I'll be very glad to see it. Thank you all very much for listening to this video, and I appreciate it if you've made it this far. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, comment, and share this video with those you think would be interested, and I will see you soon.